Alright, guys, time for another Whack-A-Hovind. We are skipping the preamble because I just want to get right into this. And all Kent does for the first 6.5 minutes is go through the same set of slides he's been going through before every single video he's done. Talking about selling the Dino van, talking about Trump getting lies out of the textbooks, and just his normal bullshit. So we're going to get right into this one.
So many atheists, so little time. Who gets whacked tonight? Well, the winner tonight is Michael Shermer, who I debated before live, and we'll do it again anytime, Michael.
Debate me, bro. Debate me. Also, don't think I don't notice the little Christian-esque stress sigh he does before he shows some of these people. It's an interesting tell.
Stop lying to the kids. There is no evidence for your religion.
Not a religion, Kent, and we will keep telling you that until you get it through your thick-ass head.
And Lawrence Krauss, who I don't think I've ever debated, but I certainly would, okay?
Lawrence Krauss would mop the floor with you, man. Come on.
Here's a program they did, and we still can't get the audio figured out here. So, Joseph, I can't play my video and get the audio to work without.
Well, honestly, you can barely get the live stream to work half the time during the preamble, and here it just pauses randomly, kind of comedically. And yes, I'm going to laugh at the tech issues of DAL, but at the same rate, I understand how things can get really messed up, and it can be very, very hard to figure out what the actual problem in the system is. It could be something simple that's being overlooked. It could be something super complex that only shows up due to some particular configuration. I'm not going to criticize Joseph on it. It's just funny either way that you would think, someone who thinks they're a God's chosen prophet or some shit like that would have these kinds of tech issues. You think things would just work perfectly. You think it'd just work, which means maybe he should have bought a Mac. Moving on.
Horrible in the background noise.
And it's not background noise, Kent. It almost sounds like audio echoing back, but being delayed or out of phase in just such a way that you get kind of a blend of the noise in between the two channels. It's kind of an interesting effect if it wasn't harsh as hell on the ears.
Want me to try it? Okay. See if you, hold on, folks. Test. Let me get my headphones on, and I'll play it.
Ken Hovind, we'll test it live. Hovind.
It came just in time, Joseph. Let's see. I got to turn it up here. All right, ready?
Let's start with the thought experiment. Imagine you're 100 on the plains of Africa, 3.5 million years ago. You're a tiny little Australopithecine apparatus.
Are you hearing it?
Oh, that's probably from music playing in the video. That little bass hum in the background. That sounds pretty damn cool, actually. Something I really enjoy is messing around with audio waveforms and just tweaking them just certain ways to create interesting sounds. I haven't been able to go so far as to make music with them because I don't have enough equipment to, at least not without it becoming a real effort. But, maybe at some point if I get a hold of a really nice keyboard or something, set up some samples and, figure stuff out. Who knows? I'd be making music for you guys.
If you make the rusty grass dangerous predator, and it turns out it's just women, you make a tiny error in cognition.
Like, what it sounds like is, okay, I forget the name of it, but the first song to ever be converted into the MP3 format, to have MPEG Layer 3 compression applied to it to create a compressed audio file. There is a version of that which consists of the difference between the original MP3 and the proper compact disc or whatever digital source master they use to make the MP3. I think it was from a compact disc. So you actually hear the absent parts that were taken out due to the fact that it's lossy compression, and it sounds kind of like that. You can almost hear the song. It's like it's literally called "The Ghost of Something or Other," the name of the first song to be converted to MP3, and it's really hauntingly beautiful in that it shows what's missing, yet simultaneously what your brain will fill in as you listen to the compressed version.
I can just read the text off the screen. That's what I was going to do tonight. We can't.
Oh, and this is the gold right here. Kent trying to read the text. And what I wonder is he going to read the text in the video? Because apparently people forget that services like YouTube have closed captioning, and everyone thinks it's TikTok where you got to put the fucking text in the video. Or is he going to read the captions, which are auto-generated? Let's find out.
Figure it out. According to evolution, things happen automatically better. You get better.
Same joke over and over, 'cause I'm Ken Hovind, and I hadn't made any new material since 1932.
Reality. Don't do that in the middle of the show. Okay. So Michael Shermer says,
Wait, don't do what in the middle of the show?
Automatically better. You get better. Reality. Don't do that in the middle of the show. Okay. So.
Wait, what? We're missing something there. If anyone can clue me in on what that was, yeah, let me know down in the comments. Or just let me know whatever the hell you think. I don't care. Unless you're, stupid. In which case, I don't care, but, we'll find out. Your comment will be judged after you make it. It cannot be judged before because the comment has not been made. For that is how time works in a cause and effect universe. Which Kent thinks everything is explicitly cause and effect, ergo he should understand that more than anybody. Thus he has made this video. This video is likely stupid, as all his content is, and I am commenting on it and reacting to it and judging it accordingly. There. Now that that's clear, because apparently people can't comprehend what these videos are, I'm dead serious about that. Some people get so confused as to why I even do this, or what this even is, that, yeah, gotta make that in there. Let's get back to 06/45/2017.
Michael Shermer says, let's go. Sort of a thought experiment. Imagine you're Hovind.
Oh my god, and he's talking over it. Mute the goddamn stream. Or mute the video, you fuckers.
Right there, see the whole evolution, you have to imagine. Nobody sees it happen. We don't see any animal changing to any other kind of animal, ever. But they've got these charts with everything connected to a common ancestor. Yes, boys and girls, you are related to a duck. Here it is right here. You're related to a duck, and you came from an amoeba. This is a thought experiment. This isn't science. Science is what we can observe and study and test and demonstrate. This isn't science, guys. It's a religion. You believe.
No, it's not a religion, Kent. No, that's not what science is. Yes, we have all the evidence we'd ever need to verify with near absolute certainty that these are the events that happened, these are the processes that happened, and that this is a valid thought experiment. Evolution is as close to a fact as science can get. Because science doesn't deal with absolute. Only math deals in absolutes. That and Sith. Which, since I'm a Sith, I can say you're an absolute fucker. Full stop. Don't know. I'm not going to find what that means. That's up for you to figure out. But you are a complete fucker.
Believe it happened. Stop pretending it is science. Okay. Thought experiment. Imagine you're a hominid on the plains of Africa. 3.5 million years ago.
Good Lord. This is truly the greatest train wreck in all of modern Hovind history. Just... Does no one monitor the outgoing feed? Just... Does that not get monitored? Wow.
Should I shut audio off again?
Yes, Kent. Mute the goddamn video if you're just gonna fucking read the captions.
I can't hear you. Should I shut off yet? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now I can't even see it. There, okay. There we go. Let's see. Shut the audio off right there. Okay. You're hominid on the plains of Africa 3.5 million years ago. Okay.
Shout out to all our African ancestors. Y'all the real OGs.
And you're a tiny little Australopithecine afarensis.
What? Kent.
You're a tiny little...
Hold up, we're doing the thing. Ah, damn it. Damn it. This is what I get for using an extension that has a gear icon and my dumbass looking at it and not realizing it's not the gear icon I want. You know, I laugh at Hovind's stupidity, and then, well, I don't want to say stupidity in this case, incompetence, and then I show my incompetence. The difference is, y'all like me. So, you know.
Australopith, Australopithecine afarensis.
Wow. Australopithecine afarensis, Kent? Come on, Kent. You're supposed to be the expert here.
Your little brain, your name is Lucy, and you hear a rustle in the grass. Is it a dangerous predator, or is it just the wind? If you think the rustle in the grass is a dangerous predator and it turns out to be just the wind, you've made one type of error in cognition, a false positive. You thought was the wind connected to something, and it wasn't.
Yes. This is how our weird, superstitious nature developed. This is an odd quirk of a process that would help keep you alive. You kind of attribute certain things that just happen naturally to possibly something acting on its own accord. In this case, and the most predominant case for us back when we were still, not the apex predators we are today, our ancestors to be more accurate. Whatever case, we're an apex predator because we cheat, by the way, but let's not get into all that. That weird quirk would save the lives of those animals that were concerned and were cautious. Thus, that gene would be passed on. And you give it enough, eventually, it's not unreasonable to think that large populations all carrying this trait would start thinking everything might have some kind of agency behind it. It's not a hard extrapolation at all.
Mm-hmm. It connected to B, and it wasn't. So that's a false positive, but that's relatively harmless. You thought it was a predator, it wasn't. If you hear rustle in the grass, it's just a wind, and it turns.
You know, the fact that he tries to actually go through this video, knowing that there's audio problems, you think he could have just watched the video, made his commentary, made his slides, and moved on like he does with other people, where he shows a few seconds, if even that, of their videos. So, I don't know what Kent's actual overall MO is for all this stuff. What his actual way of going about it and deciding things and making judgment calls on, do I show a video or do I just talk? There's no pattern I can discern from it.
Turns out to be a dangerous predator, your lunch, congratulations. You've been given a Darwin Award for taking yourself out of the gene pool early, before reproducing. And we are the descendants of those who are most likely to make one error, false positive, versus two errors, false negatives.
Oh man, this is truly painful. I apologize for all of you being subjected to this.
This is to say, you can't just say, stay in the grass and collect enough data to get the answer right. And the answer is that predators don't wait around to prey animals to collect more data. That's why they stalk and sneak up on their prey animals, so they can't get enough data. Okay, let me stop right there. Charles Darwin wrote this book, 1859.
Here we go. He played all of 1 minute and 14 seconds. That's a new record, Kent. A whole 1 minute and 14 seconds before he had to stop and interject with a bunch of shit that is irrelevant. Because I'm pretty sure Kent doesn't understand the Darwin Award, which is explained in that very thing of the Darwin Award is a joke award reference to people who take themselves out of the gene pool for being stupid. Something we wish would have happened to someone many, 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 many years ago. We won't say who, but we wish it would have happened.
He published it, The Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life.
Yes, because that was the title. That was back in the days of liking really long, convoluted titles. And race didn't mean what you think it means in that context. But we all know where you're about to go, and you're a piece of shit for doing that and for going there, on top of all the other reasons you're a piece of shit.
This whole concept that life is supposed to be evil and cruel and only the strongest survive, this is exactly what led to Adolf Hitler.
Oh, there he goes. Godwin's law just straight up broken. No, Kent. There was prevalent anti-Semitism in Europe to begin with, and it became a nice scapegoat for him to get the German people by his side. Because that was the style at the time, like tying an onion to your belt.
Okay, this teaching, and to Joseph Stalin, who killed 60 million of his own people.
Stalin literally rejected principles of evolution, you fucking moron. Lysenkoism. Look it the fuck up. You fucking dumbass.
This is the idea, hey, we're the strongest survive. And so, Michael Shermer, your imagination of this little predator, of this little prey being stalked by a predator, I know that today that's the truth, but that's not the way God designed the world. God designed a perfect world, and man has wrecked it, okay, with their sin.
You got any proof of that, buddy? And don't pick up your little holy book and say my book says a thing, because that doesn't count, kiddo.
And now it's a wicked place out there. But this is not this idea that one animal was able to distinguish, wow, that's not the wind, that's really a lion. Therefore, that's going to change us into something else. This is the logic they give to the kids. Yes.
I gotta pull out my chart because I'm Ken Hovind. You're just missing all the points completely. Just completely. Not even addressing what's actually being said, just converting it into his same old straw man that it always is for this type of shit. Why do I even do these videos? There's nothing new except when he says something irreprehensible. Is that what we're really here for? Just to wait to catch if he says something stupider than normal? I guess y'all like my jokes, but Kent only gives me so much material to work with because he's like a goddamn robot. Must use script element 142. Evolution is religion. Keyword found. Fossils. You can't tell when fossil died. Accessing page 497. None of them have date stamped on them. Just come on, Kent. Get something new.
Boys and girls, the strongest survive, which is usually the truth, though not always. It's not survival of the fittest, it's survival of the luckiest in most cases.
You know, sure, but in whatever case, generally speaking, it's the most adapted for an area and for common conditions that will survive, that will breed, that will reach maturity and continue to breed. Their children and their children and their children. Lucky outliers? Sure. But if a population ain't suited for an environment, eventually they're gonna get wiped out. It's just how it fucking works.
If a whale goes through a school of fish and eats 80% of them, it's got nothing to do with who's the fittest. Who's the luckiest is what happens most of the time. But that's not going to change it to something else. That's how they don't get it.
Well, what if you had a group of fish that were all, capable of getting the fuck away from it so they all survived? That's more of them surviving. They would be breeding at a higher rate than, let's say, let's say 100 of each group. He gets 80 the other, so you got 20 left. 100 from group B, the ones that are better suited to get away from the whale, get away. Now, it's 1 to 5 odds for resources. And then what happens to our little friend, the 20% that's left of the one species? They're going to have a hard time surviving, potentially, versus the others. And it's likely the others will breed at such a rate that it would cause the first group to have to either leave that area or risk extinction for the fact that they simply cannot get enough resources to continue propagating properly. Notwithstanding the fact that other whales may come and would eat them too. And their children. And their children's children. For 3 months. It's at a work. 2 Simpsons references in already. We're back on track. Again, you lack an understanding of nuance, Kent. I don't think you even understand what the word means. I don't think you've ever been exposed to the word nuance, because that's really my fundamental beef with you. Aside from all this being bullshit, is that you do not comprehend the nuance of everything going on. You just look at things in very basic ways to try to dumb it down so you can lie about the facts to the people who follow you. And that's why you're a deceptive piece of shit. Moving on.
Oh yeah, this amoeba was so lucky. It was so, it didn't get eaten, so it got to reproduce babies, and they slowly turned into a whale and a camel and a horse. This isn't science. This isn't smart.
The only thing not smart here, Kent, is you. It's everything you said was a complete load of bullshit as to what's actually taught in evolutionary science, and people who understand its actual view on what has gone on, that we know has gone on historically, because of the multi-tiered discipline that evolution is, the multiple facets of science which back it up. Again, provides a lot of nuance to everything that you are incapable of understanding.
Frustrates me that I teach this dumb stuff. Okay, let's go on here. My slides.
Yeah, you're the only one triggered here, because we just think you're a lolcow. You're fucking obnoxious, but you have no effect in our day-to-day lives beyond what we allow you to by watching a reaction, or possibly me deciding I'm going to create content reacting to your idiocy. Because I felt like I had something to add to the community, and clearly I do. So I do want to thank the audience for watching. Sometimes I don't always remember to do that. So yeah, you, and you. Not you over there in the back. You're not paying attention, which is fine. Just, you get no thanks, though. But the rest of you, you're all good. Let's continue.
Back up there, guys. So, we make a snap decision to make one kind of error more likely than another kind of error. And that kind of error, that false positive, that's superstition. That's magic thinking. That's assuming A is connected to B, and it's a pattern. It isn't, and you're wrong. So,
yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Michael, it is true. An animal can make a wrong decision and say, well, I think it's just the wind. It's okay to go that way, and it turns out to be a predator. That's true. But that's not going to change it to something else. This is where you guys go stark raving stupid to think that this kind of logic is going to change it to something. It doesn't. It might make the strongest survive, and it might purify the species into all the dogs in the world might have come from a wolf or a coyote, and most of them are strong and fast, but they're still dogs. They don't.
I know I tend to ramble on a bit, but that's just due to the quirks of how I talk and how I think. You just genuinely love to hear your own voice.
Change. That's the basis of finding false patterns, like gods. Now, what's the difference between the wind and a dangerous predator? The wind is an inanimate force. A dangerous predator is an intentional agent, and his intention is to eat me. And that can't be good. What we also do, in addition to finding these meaningful patterns, is infused in them agency that it's alive, it's real, it has intention, and its intention is not good. So I better assume it's real. And this is the basis of animism and spiritism and polytheism and monotheism and the belief in angels and aliens and demons and spirits and gods are invisible. Okay, agents who run the world.
And he just completely chokes there. Beautiful. Let me take a look at that again, just for the joy of it.
And aliens and demons and spirits and
poltergeists, Kent? Poltergeists. You can't read poltergeists? I have never watched the trauma film Poltergeist. I should probably watch that, because I'm certain I'd enjoy it, because I love trauma films. Toxic Crusader, Quadrilogy, so good. Actually, Toxic Avenger. Toxic Crusaders was the kids' show, which I also watched when I was a kid, as well as watching the first Toxic Avenger movie as a kid. Because, I watched a lot of stuff I shouldn't have as a kid.
Okay, gods are invisible. Okay, Agents who run the world, who control things, who create these patterns. See, this is going absolutely crazy here.
No, it's a perfectly reasonable extrapolation of this quirk of our primitive brain. Once that's filtered through the upper portions of our brain, you can get stuff like this because that's just kind of how humans work. We kind of like to make up shit. And when you have some catalyst making us think every other thing that randomly happens has agency behind it, it's only reasonable to think we'd all, for whatever stupid reasons, come up with random deities and random ideas like this.
Michael, you're saying because a poor little animal, Australopithecine, can't distinguish between the wind and a predator, therefore you're trying to lead your audience into believing, see, all the gods are is just the wind.
Because that actually is the whole case, Kent. Like, we know how the brain works. We know this shit happens. It's easy fucking extrapolate. We see it happen all the time where everyone comes up with paranoid conspiracies. Well, not everyone, but people will come up due to issues like schizophrenia or something, sure. But they'll come up with paranoid ideas that people are watching them and that, oh, things are happening. You yourself, I think, believe in the fucking Illuminati controlling everything, or at least some tangent thereof, if not now, then in your tribulation time. Or some shit to that effect. You certainly believe the New World Order, that's what I was meaning. It is a thing that's trying to happen, and it's like, what? So instead of shit just happening, you think there's a shadow agency controlling everything. It's the exact same fucking thing. Exact same thing. And you can't see that. You're so stupid you can't tell. Fucking incredible.
Yeah, there's no dangerous predator out there. There's no God out there controlling things.
No, there isn't. If there was, you could fucking prove it. Just like with the predator. You go over to where the bushes were rustling. After something doesn't jump out. Oh, see, there is no lion here. Or, oh shit, there is a lion. I am now fucked. Save me, Hawkthor. Oh no, Hogthor ran. I am truly fucked. Curse you, Hogthor. And then the Hogthor family was cursed for millennia afterwards. Yep. Trogdor, the Burninator, is still haunting the Hogthor family.
This is what you're doing. You're leading people astray. You might want to read
And also, the story got perverted into a dragon that was burninating everything, so, it is what it is. But, yeah, just saying.
Matthew 18:6 and see what's going to happen to guys like you when they face God.
You're gonna find out. You're gonna get your ass whooped, Hovind. Yeah, Book of Chris 6:66.
Okay, let's go on here. Let's see. All cultures everywhere in the world have created God beliefs. Gods with these intentional are these intentional agents. Human civilization began by putting purpose and intelligent purpose behind gods associated with the sun. No, that's not how it began, Michael.
Yeah, it is. You're just gonna ramble on about your favorite fairy tale. Don't care.
It devolved into that. The first people that were created by God they knew God personally. They walked and talked with him in the Garden of Eden. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Got a nice padded room for you upstate, Kent.
Then it degenerated into people believing crazy things like the rocks or worshiping idols.
You're obsessed with the King James Version of the Bible. You care about the Bible more than you do the actual characters in said book. And I'm pretty sure you worship yourself more than you do that book. So, what's this about idols now? You would be the expert to ask, I guess, right?
Like evolution is worshiping time and chance and mutations to make things happen.
No one fucking worships time and chance and shit. I mean, there may be some pagan construct out there that worships the concept of time. That's cool for them. It has nothing to fucking do with evolution. Irrelevant. The time is simply a facet that is known. It is a fact. Get the fuck over it, Kent.
The moon, they worship the planets, the wind. It's true, some cultures did that, and some still do, and they're stupid for doing it.
Yeah, and you worship a carpenter who sacrificed himself to himself 2,000 years ago. Wow, that sounds really, really smart there. just ever think about what you're saying, Kent? Just ever think about the abject idiocy of how you talk about other religions, or things you think are other religions, but in no way can reflect and put that back onto your own beliefs, onto your own ideas. It's insanity.
But that doesn't mean there's no real God of the Bible. The earth
It should be provable. It isn't. Get over it.
and the oceans, let's see. It's been estimated by one estimate there are 1,000 different gods throughout human history. Mars, god of war, Poseidon, and all the rest. And a really important thing is that all
Marge, Maggie, and the rest. Actually, it was Little Bart, Little Lisa, and the rest, I think was the line from The Simpsons, but whatever.
of you are now atheists regarding those gods. Watch the crazy logic Krauss does here.
You mean the incredible logic because it's absolutely valid? Totally works? I know where Krauss is going to go.
Because I don't believe in the moon god and the Jupiter god and Thor, therefore, I'm atheist on those gods.
Yes, you are. That's as far as the concept goes, is a rejection of the belief in those particular deities.
Understand? Legitimate point. I don't believe in them. I think they're stupid. Therefore, the other God that's left is also not true.
Now, why is this, Kent? Perhaps because the same logic and the same lack of evidence that can be used to dismiss all those other deities equally apply to yours. But you will never think of that. You will never acknowledge that. Because you'll never allow yourself to think critically about your own magic book of bullshit. Because it has to be right. You demand it be right. You need it to be right. Or else your whole world falls apart. You're so insecure without your magic comfort book. And that's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic.
That's what he's trying to do here. Deceiving his audience. There's just one, it's just one that may disagree about. But 999, we all agree, they have been thrown out. The reason they've been thrown out is they've been buried by the rise of our physical understanding. Science works. Okay, Lawrence, listen to me. I agree. I love science. Science
No, you don't, Kent. That is one of the biggest lies you say, that you love science. You don't.
means knowledge. Knowledge gained by observation, experimentation,
I'm going to say the same shit again. It's not what science is, Kent. In the grander picture, that is not at all what science is. That describes some aspects of science, but that's not all inclusive.
testing. That's science. We know things that we've learned, and we've learned a lot more, maybe, than the ancients knew. It could be that they were living to be 900 and talked with God personally for the first 100 years. Maybe they knew stuff we don't know. Maybe they would laugh at our technology. I got a chart here someplace. Oh, here we go. Okay. So modern man and his
Wait, did this motherfucker just say something about aliens?
they knew stuff we don't know. Maybe they would laugh at our technology. I got a chart here. So they knew that they were living to be 900 and talked with God.
Oh no, he's just talking about his mythical, 1,000-year-old people that totally couldn't happen with our, anatomy being at all the way it is. Meaning those, 1,000-year-old people wouldn't even really be human then, would they? Huh, makes you think.
Personally for the first 100 years. Maybe they knew stuff we don't know. Maybe they would laugh at our technology. I got a chart here someplace. Oh, here we go. Okay. So modern man in his great wisdom assumes that all these ancient people were stupid and they were little.
Kent, I don't believe I'm related to a potato. Maybe way down in the back. Totally reasonable to say you branch off far enough. Sure, potato plant. But I know something that is related to a potato. The quality of your goddamn internet stream right now. Look at this. You can count the pixels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pixels. Another Simpsons reference. 1, 5, 6 atoms. Those are my own atoms. I brought them from home, I tell you. I'd rather be watching The Simpsons than playing Guild Wars. There you go. Got your Guild Wars reference in. Can't even make out anything on this chart.
Australopithecines.
And seriously, look at it right now. Does it not look exactly like some weird ass artistic map of North and South America? I don't know if you see my mouse cursor yet. We got U.S. right here. We got Mexico. There's Florida. There's Panama and like. There's South America. There's Chile. There's Brazil and the like. Paraguay, Uruguay, everybody Guay. And I don't know what the hell this is. Oh wait, there's the ice wall. There's a ice wall where there's no 24-hour sun, except there totally is. I'm a flat earther. I'm not a flat earther. Just have to clarify.
Running around hiding from the lions. That's what they assume. This is not provable, of course. If they
Also, I love how these people right here just got completely fucked time-wise. It's just like, no, you're just fucking dead. Up yours. It's like, wow, that's pretty fucking mean.
If Adam truly lived to be 930, like the Bible says, and many ancient legends talk about a golden age when man used to live to be 1,000, okay?
And there's a whole lot of books written that say a guy named Batman patrols Gotham City, that Spider-Man patrols, is it New York proper? Yeah, and then Metropolis handled by Superman. Right, because DC uses fictional places, whereas Marvel uses real places. That's as far as I know. Also, the whole Spider-Man owned by Sony thing, I don't know. Uh, this is probably old news to most of you, but did you know the original PlayStation 3 font is also the Spider-Man font that was used at the time? Like, we all noticed it right there in 2006 with the first commercials and advertising. It's like, dude, that's a Spider-Man font. It's a cool font, but yeah, just kind of funny.
There must be a reason why they have this crazy legend of the golden age.
Probably because life sucks, and people find it comforting to think about fantasy worlds where things are a little better. Because, we like to have happy thoughts once in a while. Except you. You're miserable all the fucking time, Kent.
Cultures all over, not Christian cultures. If you could live to be 900, you could learn a lot. And you could teach it to your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchild.
Why do I feel like, regardless of how long you lived, you would never learn anything close to a lot, and certainly couldn't teach it to anyone, let alone your great-great-great-great-great-grandchild?
Who could then teach it to his great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchild. I think the knowledge would have been phenomenal. They probably knew things back then we can't even imagine today. How did they?
Uh-huh. But, they built a wooden boat. They didn't forge a fucking aircraft carrier. They didn't build a goddamn space station and go into orbit to survive the flood. They didn't go to explore the fucking moon or anything like that. No, 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 no. No, they built a fucking boat. They did bronze bulls they were worshiping and shit. Commandments written on fucking stone tablets. Come the fuck on, Kent. Really? You're really gonna go there? You're trying to make Bronze Age people out to be super beings? Come the fuck on.
Build those giant stone structures, lift those 70-ton rocks.
Yeah, they were smart. They knew how to do engineering pretty damn effectively because they worked with what they had, which wasn't much. So they were masters of what they did have. It is absolutely incredible what ancient peoples did across the world. And I will always love and respect that. It wasn't aliens helping them out. At least I'm pretty damn sure it wasn't. It wasn't Anunnaki. It wasn't your god sending down mystical knowledge or anything. This was people just as smart as us, other Homo sapiens, who just happened to live 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 years ago, who happened to be in the right place at the right time, with enough people around, and enough of a drive in their culture to develop these beautiful structures. There may be horror stories behind them, like, Aztec pyramids and the like. Not the most pleasant places compared to, Egyptian pyramids that were just grave sites. A lot of those, old or New World megalithic structures oftentimes happen to have to do with ending life as opposed to celebrating the life that someone lived. If all that phrasing makes sense. I don't know. I'm just rambling. But regardless, the fact that they built them, fucking amazing. And I'm glad you can at least respect previous cultures having intelligence and having ingenuity, but your belief as to why they were as smart as they'd seem to be is really, really wrong. They were as smart as us. Or that is to say, we're still as smart as them. We're just standing on the shoulders of giants. We're just working off of everything that people over millennia before us had figured out, had developed. So we're getting the benefit of a head start. That's it. I guarantee you, you bring a, Egyptian king to modern era, give him enough time, he can learn how to surf the internet. You know, presuming he's not one of the cases of extreme inbreeding, but we're not going to get into that. Uh, Literally or figuratively. But I'm just saying.
400 feet off the ground. How did they do that? They knew something we don't know.
No, they knew stuff that we knew. We, our dumbasses, has stopped thinking inside the box to figure out how they would have done stuff with their own tech. But we've kind of got a clue now, finally. Took us a while, but we started putting two and two together and coming up with something other than 3.5. So, yeah. Say we don't know how they did it. They must have known something better than us. No, they just worked with what they had, as I said before.
Okay. Anyway, I agree. Science works.
Yeah, you would just disregard me like that. Harvard, I'm just going to disregard your tomato. Harvard.
Love science. Evolution is not part of it. We know dogs produce dogs and cows produce cows.
Blah,
we
blah,
know
blah,
that.
blah,
That
blah,
is
blah,
science.
blah,
It's been
Kent
observable,
Hovind fucking
testable.
sucks.
Millions of farmers worldwide will tell you their cows make baby cows every time. When they plant corn, they expect corn to grow. We know that. We do not know that corn and cows are related, Lawrence. You don't know that. Evolution isn't science. You're trying to take a true statement here that science is wonderful. We gained a lot of knowledge. Therefore, we don't need God anymore. That's what you guys are trying to do here. You said you had 12 minutes, you'd make me an atheist. No, it's not going to work. You're going to show yourself to be a fool is all you're going to do. Let's see. Science works. And the fact that science works has buried the gods of the wind, the sun, and the moon. Farmers now, as I was saying, when it doesn't rain, they don't pray for rain anymore. Well, I don't think you're wrong there. I think God still does control the weather and can.
Okay. Then why doesn't the fucker answer the prayers of people desperately in need of rains? Like in the desert parts of Africa, the areas where desertification is happening in mass and populations haven't had a chance to be able to migrate at all, are incapable of migrating for various reasons due to the way civilization's pretty fucked up in a lot of places over there. What about during the Dust Bowl? Sure, there's a lot of Christians here in the good old US of A in the 1930s who really could have used some of that wet stuff, but for some reason it just never came. Wonder why, Kent. Wonder why. Why didn't God answer their prayers? You gonna answer that, Kent? No, you don't fucking know? Probably 'cause your God doesn't exist, or if it does exist, he's a total fucking prick who deserves no form of worship. But you can go on kissing his ass all you want. God, this is a perfectly ugly freeze frame of Kent. Ugh.
And has many times throughout history. Farmers have prayed for things and God has answered their prayer.
Yeah. What about all the times it didn't happen? Or is it just coincidence then? Or lack thereof? I mean, come on. If I'm hunting for my keys and I pray that I get out finding my keys and then I find my keys, it's not because anyone prayed. It's because you kept fucking looking for them. And you know what's funny is, once you find the thing you're looking for, you tend to stop looking. But you know, if you keep on looking, would your keys pop up again mysteriously? I mean, come on. I know that sounds ridiculous to bring up, but your God could make that happen. Oh, look, now I've got two sets of my own keys. Up, they've merged into one. Boom. Paradox averted, everything's fine. Come on, Kent.
There's a much bigger picture going on here. So you go see a meteorologist. I agree. You want to find out if it's going to rain? There are usually things that happen. A cold front moving in, low pressure zones.
Yeah. The weather happens. You want to attribute... Do you see what you're doing here? You want to immediately attribute patterns of the weather to a deity that you already think exist, of course, having control over them. You see just where you're immediately leaping to stuff?
high pressure zones. I understand that. I taught earth science 15 years. Get my book on introduction, my
No, you fucking didn't, Kent. Get the fuck over yourself.
video, Earth and Space Science. I know quite a bit about that topic. But that doesn't mean there's no God. The fact that we now understand the weather and we understand the spin of the Earth and the orbits of the planets doesn't mean there's no God.
Kent, as time has progressed, all the things we used to attribute to deities that we thought were infinitely beyond our understanding have slowly become known to us, have become explainable, have become understood, to the point where we can split atoms trivially, where we can send spacecraft out, if we give it enough time, to anywhere we'd realistically want to. Now, in practice, we're never going to get something to Alpha Centauri that, is probably going to be able to get back, and, it's not going to survive and all that jazz, because it'd take for fucking ever. But the principle is there. We know how to do it. We can fling something in a direction, and eventually it'll make it there. Like, we know where Voyager 1's going. We know where Voyager 2's going. Pretty sure we know exactly where Pioneer 1 and 2 are going to end up. Where New Horizons is going to end up. But I've gone off on a tangent. I'm stepping back a hair. The amount of stuff in the universe we've had to explain in our world, in the skies, out there in the cosmos, in the very fabric of reality that we've had to explain with a deity, has been an ever shrinking little box of putting things in, of the God subject, of putting things in there that we don't understand. And it's reached a point now, and I'm glad it has, to where, honestly, the universe makes a whole lot of sense without ever needing to invoke any kind of magical deity. And it has for quite a few centuries, honestly. Because during the wonderful thing of the Age of Reason, wonderful era, we began to realize that things seem to have reasonable explanations more often than not. And stuff we can't figure out, if we look into it hard enough, we figure it out. Realized we should keep going, and modern scientific concepts were born. For someone who says they love science, you think you'd understand this. And I know I didn't, say everything perfectly. I never do, because, I'm a little screwed up here and there. Say things wrong sometimes. But I'm still demonstrating an understanding that you either simply don't have, or you refuse to acknowledge, because it defeats the entire principles of everything your grift is for. But long story short, the box that your God has been in, and being an answer to the question of any given thing in the universe, has gotten so small that it's irrelevant to anyone's real day-to-day life, and should remain that way. Cry some more, Kent. Let me feast on your tears. And watch as you realize your whole life has been a waste and a lie. I'll relish it. Damn it, I don't want to add it to watch later. I want to play it.
I think people understand how a pencil works.
You accidentally tap tab and suddenly you're in watch later.
And graphite rubs off and sticks on the cellulose fibers and leaves a black mark. I think we understand how it works. It doesn't mean nobody made the pencil.
Non sequitur, Kent. And look, he's got that smug ass grin on his face like, I got you. And no, pencils are artificial objects, so we know that they're manufactured. Was the tree manufactured? Or is the tree a natural object? Because it can't be both, Kent.
This is the false logic you guys are going to get here. Okay, let's see.
That's a false logic you use, Kent.
I can barely read it, and that's a good thing. In the process, the human condition has improved immensely. Maybe. We now know how to...
Yeah, it's improved a lot, you dumbass. Kent, did you ever contract polio? Doesn't seem like you did, because you're certainly able to walk. All your arms and legs seem to be working fine, although your brain seems to be a little atrophied. You're definitely not in an iron lung. You know why you likely didn't contract polio? Because you would have been vaccinated for it. Now, there was, given the time you were born, there was a risk period, probably about 10 years range. But Once the vaccinations came in, you probably remember getting your polio vaccination. You probably still have the mark very visible on your body today. Don't want to fucking see it, but you probably still have it. By us introducing that vaccine in the 60s, as we did, late 50s, early 60s range, we damn near eliminated polio as a thing at all. Sadly, it's making a few headways with anti-vax movements and, ravaging some, off the beaten path parts of the world. So it's not completely eradicated. I didn't have to grow up worrying about it. My sister didn't have to worry about it growing up. We knew polio as something from the past. Because that's where we left it. In the past. Same place we should leave your magic fairy tales. Because fucking science figured out how to stop this shit. And polio might be pretty devastating to an individual, but religion is devastating to entire populations.
To kill 1 billion people with a push of a button instead of, just one with a rifle or a bow and arrow. Old days, you could only kill one at a time. Now we can kill them.
And he immediately goes into killing people. Just seriously.
And that's a good thing.
We're gonna let him go through his thing again. He seriously just immediately goes to killing people. I mean, what is wrong with you, Kent? Come on.
In the process, the human condition has improved immensely. Maybe. We now know how to kill 1 billion people with a push of a button instead of, just one with a rifle or a bow and arrow. Old days, you could only kill one at a time. Now we can kill millions at a time.
Yeah. Like your favorite former president and convicted felon. Now 2 non-consecutive term president coming January, but that's neither here nor there. Like he did with all the bullshit response that was done with, the Rona. Telling people to take like a horse medication or inject themselves with what amounts to bleach or some shit like that. I mean, come the fuck on. But no. Science, actual science, in particular the form of evolution, is a problem. Right.
Yeah, it's improved a lot. Continue.
You sure seem to be taking advantage of it, Kent, using this newfangled internet, this YouTube, this TikTok, and all these other things. These computers where, your cell phone is infinitely more powerful than the computers you were using. I mean, my phone is well more powerful than the computer I was using when you went to prison. Way more capable. That's, of course, due to Moore's Law and other properties of electronics and technology as they advance. But, everything's getting worse to you. As you take advantage of stuff that was developed during the time you were still rotting away in the pen. Right, Kent.
To improve.
Look as I laugh. I'm Kent Hovind. I laugh at my own jokes all the fucking time. Says Kurusu Tomato, who laughs at his own jokes sometimes, but, not all the time. Sometimes I'm actually funny. You're never funny, Kent.
As science continues to bury the one remaining God. That's your goal, isn't it, Lawrence?
What of it? It's a fucking shitty character from a shitty book. Get over it. Cry some more, Kent.
You want to get rid of that God. You don't like him. You're going to stand before him one day. And you've turned a lot of people, you and Michael both have turned a lot of people against the true God of the Bible. I'm sorry. I'll debate you anytime. Bring it.
You're going to be punished by God one day, and I'll debate you anytime. Fuck, Kent. Do you know how to articulate a statement that actually has a reasonable flow in the seriousness of the statements? How to work from a basic concept to something a little more intense up to the serious matters? You went to a 10 and then dropped down to a 2. Of course, you probably think debating you is the worst, challenge or the biggest challenge of all. It's not. You're just an obnoxious prick.
Both of you together.
I'll take on both of these guys together, because I love taking on 2 guys at once. Ken Hovind, 2024, colorized.
The point is that our current understanding of nature has changed. I agree. We've learned lots of things. I agree. That's wonderful. None of them have disproven the existence of the Almighty God, the creator of the universe.
Nothing proves it. Ergo, it's something that can be dismissed. Because whatever evidence y'all try to put up is pathetic at best. outright lies and such on the norm and is not even worth addressing at the worst. It's not even evidence, it's just claims of shit. Your God is a pointless concept, an outdated relic from a bygone age of people who, sadly, as smart as they were still a little bit stupid in this regard. And we've moved beyond that. At least I would hope we've moved beyond that. But that's not the case. And we got people like you. It's one thing for an idea of personal faith, but people like you who want to turn everything into a war and want to try to eradicate the very nature of the core elements of civilization that we have under the guise of some religious, crusade. It's terrifying. It's sickening. You're a monster. You're a horrible person, and the world will be better off when you're no more.
We've learned things. It's changed and developed since the claims were made by Iron Age peasants who didn't even know the Earth orbited the sun. You don't know that they didn't know that.
There's no evidence saying that they thought that. There's no records of that, Kent, so got plenty of stuff where they think excuse me, had to yawn. The world is the center of the universe, center of the solar system, so yeah, seems like the vast majority and the general consensus for a long time was the geocentric model.
There have been some cultures who taught things that were wrong, like geocentrism and flat Earth. They're wrong. It doesn't mean ancient people didn't know the truth about that.
We would see that in writings. There would be groups where they express understanding of, solar centrism. But there's not. Come on, Kent. But, he's not deceptive at all. He doesn't miss the point at all. He knows everything that people are talking about and articulates himself perfectly, right?
And therefore, it's natural that science is inconsistent with those claims based on ignorance. I agree. And science is inconsistent with evolution. You guys are claiming.
Just gonna go off on his monologue. I'm gonna clean out my backpack while he does this, because, might as well clean it out. Might as well do something with my time while this idiot rambles.
We all came from an amoeba. I think science is inconsistent with that stupid claim. Let me get the chart again, just so you guys can see. This is what they teach in the public school textbooks. You are claiming that humans are related to a duck and a sunflower and a bumblebee and a mosquito. This is the claim that you're making. We don't know any of that from science, okay? We know mosquitoes have baby mosquitoes every time. Every time. No exceptions. Okay, back up. I'll get more Lawrence here.
Oh, good. Kent learned to shut his mouth after a moment. Also, yeah, keep a backpack on me. Contains a laptop, its power supply, a few other things I may need. That's just the kind of guy I am. Carry it to work, bring it home. Because if I'm on a lunch break and I want to work on something, god damn it, I am working on something.
Let's see.
I ain't gonna do coding from no damn cell phone. Fuck that noise.
And we shouldn't revere those sacred claims. Claims are sacred. They're ignorant. And the other thing that's important in this extra God is there's nothing special about Jesus. This is what he really wanted to get to. This one?
Yeah. Jesus is just another magic character. Another shitty character in a shitty story.
You got a cure for it?
Maybe. Try that.
Try that? Okay. Put my headphones on? Maybe. There's certainly plenty to learn. Could it be this microphone causing the problem? No.
Oh, God. Don't try to... You know fuck all about tech, Kent, so don't try to, troubleshoot this.
Okay. Let's see if it plays here now.
And you have to unmute it.
Yep, true. It's hard to see that thing 50 feet away here. Okay.
First of all, there's no empirical evidence that he was divine. None, not when.
Didn't work. Okay.
More tech fails from, Dinosaur Adventureland. At least they're trying something. I don't know what the hell they're trying, but I'll give Joseph credit for having an idea and trying to give it a go. Like I said, I'm not going to give him shit over this. But I will laugh at the tech fails. I do find it funny. As they should find my tech fails funny. Like when I did that Matt Powell video and Matt's audio was non-existent. Made the context a little hard to understand. That sadly happens a lot. Is it happening here, by the way? Let me just, play a little bit of Kent here.
All right. I'll keep reading what he says here.
Nah, it's still recording good. All right.
Okay. So in that sense, he shares with every other god that's ever been proposed. The myths associated with Jesus are associated with all the others in the Bible. The flood myth, the Gilgamesh myth.
Yeah, floods, Gilgamesh, Krishna, and Jesus. Actually, more additional Zoroastrian concepts in the Jesus concept. I mean, it's all Near Eastern and Mid-Eastern mythology.
Wait. Lawrence, there have been many stories told. Some have been twisted and perverted over time, okay? But the original story, the fact that there's so many flood stories all over the world doesn't mean they're flood myths, okay? Lots of cultures talk about a time
Yeah, they are, because we know a global flood is impossible.
when the world was flooded, completely flooded. We know we're living on a world today that's covered by water, 70% of it, plenty to cover the whole world.
No, there isn't, Kent. Again, unless you flatten things out, which I don't even know if that would be the case, given the relative lack of difference. Like, the planet is really, really smooth in the grand scheme. From our scale, it seems drastic. Depths of the oceans and the height of some mountains, but honestly, it's pretty fucking smooth. So I don't think there's enough water to cover everything if you were to flatten it out. But even if there was, okay. The implication is that the world was all flattened out at one time like that, was smoother than a cue ball, because it is smoother than a cue ball. We wouldn't be able to feel the mountains and stuff at the scale that the Earth is. It's fucking wild. Where was I at? I'd barely be able to feel them anyway. But where was I at? Right. This rambling. I just want to get this done now.
I mean, if you smoothed out the world, I got my globe here somewhere. Today, the oceans average
There he goes.
12,000 feet. And if you smoothed out the world, there's enough water to cover the Earth 8,800 feet deep.
Press X to doubt. And again, even if that was the case, you'd then have to demonstrate that the world was somehow so universally flat or otherwise shaped in some way that none of this would be an issue, and that the pre-flood stuff could happen, then the flood could happen, and then, yeah, I mean, you've got to sit there and deny that the world is the way it is, intrinsically.
The water's here. That's not the question. And it's certainly a matter of just simply readjusting the height and depth of the continents and ocean floors, and you could cover the Earth again. So there's no, and plus that's a lot of water to fit in a dot smaller than a period on a page.
Just out of nowhere, just throw that in there, because you have to, Kent. Because you've got to run your script.
You guys believe all the oceans fit in a dot smaller than an atom. That's what's stupid. And you call that science. I tell you what, Michael, I'll give you and...
Please explain what a singularity is, Kent. I'm waiting for you to explain in detail what the concept of a singularity is. What the concept of a gravitational singularity would be. And then do the math on what that would entail. Then get back to me.
Lawrence, $1,000 if you can squeeze a gallon of water into a drop smaller than an atom. $1,000. Well, make it about $50. That's all I got. Okay.
Oh, so you have $50 now? Yeah, right. Fucker. Your ministry's worth hundreds of thousands at minimum.
And you, well, on your high horse, think you've got science on your side. No, you don't. You have mythology on your side.
Ladies and gentlemen, religion reversing everything. Film at 11.
You start off like this program did. Just imagine, yes, you imagine the whole universe came from a dot, big bang. And you're going to say, that's not evolution.
And he talks like this, and yet Hovindites don't understand why we feel the way we do about Kent and what he does and what he says and how he goes about it. Which is why I do my videos, to go about things in a much more refined version of the same way he does. Because turnabout is fair play after all.
Well, you got to start with that, don't you? I know you don't want to because you can't. Then you got to get life coming from non-living material.
Blah blah, 6 stages of evolution. You're full of shit, Kent. You're boring me now.
You got to get the water to melt the rocks or dissolve the rocks and turn them into chemicals and they become alive. You have no clue how life got started. None.
Alright there, James Tor.
I've said many times, all the scientists in the world cannot make an acorn. This
Shut the fuck up about acorns. No one gives a shit. And now you're going to do your Jesus analogy. The dirt has to let it in. Even though the dirt doesn't let anything in, the dirt's inanimate organic matter of a particular consistency and structure. This is the same thing. And material makeup. I don't even have words. I just have sounds. Actually, it sounds about like what's coming out of Kent, although really what sounds like it's coming out of Kent is more crude sounds than that. But I'll avoid the toilet humor.
little acorn knows how to make a tree. Do you know how to make a tree, Michael or Lawrence?
I wouldn't say it knows how to make a tree. I would say that it will become a tree under the right conditions. Because that's what it is. That's what it's for. It is the reproductive body of the tree that it came from. One of them. That's how this works, Kent. Life tends to find a way to reproduce. Since self-replication is kind of a defining factor of life, if memory serves. At least a critical trait of it.
You can't make an acorn, can you? All the scientists together can't make one. But you think it happened by chance, don't you? Anyway, this was written, the Gilgamesh epic. Sure, there are lots of flood stories been written. I think right after...
I mean, you just go off on that tangent, but he was talking about flood stories, and you see how he can't keep anything straight? And he plans this, is this crazy thing. He plans all this, and he can't keep it straight. I'm allowed to wander because I don't plan this. This is a live reaction. And I'm providing commentary for y'all to enjoy, providing some humor, sharing some thoughts, sharing some little personal stories when I feel like it. I love the one person who said I talk too damn much, because it's like, what the fuck are you doing on my fucking channel then? I'm going to talk all I fucking want, because it's my fucking channel, and people fucking watch this stuff. And if I want to say fuck more times than in the film Casino, I'm going to fucking say it, you fucking fucks. Fuck 'em.
After the flood, Noah and his sons would spread out around the world, and pretty soon they would lose connection with each other as they get further apart, and they would tell the story of...
Oh, you mean these people with hundreds of years of experience didn't learn about how the internet works and email from their great-great-granddaddy Adam? Huh? I thought you said they knew more than us, Kent. So they didn't know how to send letters, didn't know how to use carrier pigeons, didn't know how to send a messenger, didn't know how to build a computer and wireless technology and, set up a cell phone network? Maybe they were limited by the tech they had, or, oh wait, I forgot, these people didn't even fucking exist.
The flood and how they're saved on a boat. Yeah, great-great-grandpa was on that boat. And eventually the story might get twisted or changed or perverted from the real story. But God preserved the real story of how it exactly how it happened in his preserved word.
Yeah, a version that had to be made in 1611. Good job there. And the deity couldn't just make it in every language that would ever come automatically. No. We had to go about that process. After, the Council of Nicaea decided what books would actually be considered canon and what were just fan fiction.
He promised he would preserve his word. And the Bible says at the end of time there would be scoffers like you guys who would be willingly ignorant.
Oh no, Magic Book of Bullshit says people won't like Magic Book of Bullshit. What a surprise. We'll have more following this.
Of the creation and the flood. Read 2 Peter chapter 3 and write your name in there, okay?
Read Book of Chris 6:66.
You're willingly ignorant of that flood. That flood is what formed all the layers we see to the earth. Just the tide going up and down every 6 hours, 12 and a half minutes would make the water rush in and out of the tidal bump. And it's a sideways movement of the water that makes all the layers.
Oh, look, he got a new sand toy. He ordered this one from Temu, like his little dinosaur lamp that never is fucking turned on. Why don't you ever turn it on, Kent? Did it not work when you got it and you just don't feel like doing a return? Is mailing it back to China too expensive? Come the fuck on, bro.
But you guys think the layers are different ages and the top one's younger.
All right, let me guess. He's going to say, where did the top one come from? Space? You don't know that. God, Kent.
Okay, Lawrence, Michael, if the top layer's younger, where did it come from?
It's not an accomplishment, but called it. I'll say this every single time you bring it up, Kent. This has been explained to you ad nauseum, explicitly through both analogy and through direct, carefully worded explanation. This shows how disingenuous you are, how much of just an outright just scumbag you are, in that you just continue to say this even though it's been completely addressed. It seems like it's not something important, but it really is, because it's such a fine example of how you refuse to actually engage in whatever discussion is happening. You never change anything of what you say. You barely ever will adapt, except maybe when ERVs were brought in and then you came up with an apologetic for that. That's the only time I've ever seen you add to your script, modify it in any way to address new information. Otherwise, you just say the same bullshit over and over and over and over and over and over and over
You got these
and
stupid charts
over
with
and
your dumb
over
geologic
and
column.
over and
Got it right
over
here
and
someplace.
over and over and over,
Yeah.
and you show your charts.
Here's what you want us to teach
over
all
and
the kids.
over and
You want us to
over
teach
and
the kids that the
over
top
and
layer is
over
only
and
10,000
over
years
and
old,
over
and this bottom layer is 2.5 billion years old.
I'm Ken Hovind. I have
Where
no
was
idea
all that
what the
dirt sitting for
goddamn hell I'm talking
2.4999
about. I'm the
billion
biggest
years?
fucking retard on
Did
the
it come from outer
internet.
space? There is no geologic column.
It just keeps on with this shit. Just on and on.
This is vaporware. This
Vapor? What? What, you learn a new word today? You do a Google search, you got a little next to Weatherbug, you got a little Windows XP extension that tells you word of the day, and you learned vaporware? And you want to talk about vaporware? Fucking Jesus is vaporware. Motherfucker never coming back.
is a propaganda poster is all it is. There's no geologic column. I'll debate any of you on that topic too.
Debate me, bro. Debate me. I'm Hovind. If I don't debate once a week, I get blue balls in the debate scene, Hovind.
If the top layer is younger, where is it coming from? They say, well, it just got moved from over here to here. Well, that doesn't change the age of it. Well, that actually the age it was deposited. It doesn't change the age of the material. You guys don't get it. Probably all the fossils in the world formed in that flood.
Yeah, no one cares. Blah, blah, probably. Blah, blah, don't know shit. When I say no one cares, I mean no one cares what you have to say. I'm not acknowledging anything of what you say. You're just on your little tirade. You love going on your tirades, don't you? You just love throwing your little tantrums, Kent. Getting to say these same little snippets of shit all the time. You are the least charismatic person I've seen on the internet. You are terrible to watch. Chris Chan is far more interesting to watch than you, and that's not a compliment. I've seen people with serious issues who are infinitely more charismatic than you, and I am not trying to belittle them. I'm trying to say that despite disabilities and their different abilities, they are showing humanity that I can relate to and can feel for far better than you.
Year. Just the tide going up and down every 6 hours, 12 and a half minutes means it's rushing in and out of that big tidal.
And he's on a loop. Old man runs in a loop. Something that I find just fucking annoying when people get older. And I hate to do this rant, but when they are people just like this who just are so full of themselves, they have to not only tell the same story, but they like repeat themselves in a circle. Now I can understand forgetting if you told something like a while back, like 2 months ago I told someone a story, so I tell them again, it's like, oh yeah, I remember that. But in the same monologue, to go back and say the same shit, And this isn't repetition to help someone learn like people are claiming and defending it is. This isn't that at all. This is just him being fucking full of himself and being so stupid I think he legitimately doesn't even remember that he already said this shit.
Bump. As it rushes in, it makes a layer of gravel. As it rushes out, it makes a layer.
Oh, gravel. Explicitly gravel. So, it's just layers of gravel all the way down. Right? I think you've been living in a gravel pit too long.
And while it's between tides, the small stuff settles out, sand and clay. Come see our gravel pit. Gravel, sand, clay. Gravel, sand, clay. 7 layers. They might.
Yeah, that were all, done as a side effect of human interaction in that pit. If that's even an accurate description of what's over there, these multi-layers, it's probably not. You're probably just saying it's like that. Or hell, y'all just laid shit down to make it look like that. I wouldn't put it past you.
It out of here for years. It's all from the flood, guys. So you're saying
Yeah. Okay.
there were the Gilgamesh epic. There are some flood stories that are now obviously twisted and perverted. But
Boy, he sure loves using that word perverted. It's like he likes using the word prejudiced all the time. Never biased. Always got to be prejudiced. Never altered. Never changed. It's always got to be perverted.
it doesn't mean the original isn't true. This is where there are some fake $100 bills out there. Did you know there's counterfeit money out there, guys?
Yeah, and I bet your dumbass couldn't tell a North Korean super note from a standard bill of the same style. I couldn't either, because the bills are that good. I forget who exactly said it, but someone big in the U.S. government who said that for all something akin to for all points and purposes, a North Korean super note is American currency not manufactured by America, which is pretty terrifying to think about. That basically they got the equipment to make our currency. Yeah, look those things up. They're fucking wild.
Does that mean it's all counterfeit? Well, Federal Reserve notes, yeah, they are. Okay.
Oh god, and they're going to a soft sit bullshit. Up yours, Kent. Up yours. You'll sure take those dollars, though. You will sure as fuck take those Federal Reserve notes. But you don't understand banking worth a damn, because you swallowed the soft sit pill decades ago. And that's got to be the most pathetic thing about you, is that you're a fucking sovereign citizen. That's why it makes it even more amazing that you're not a flat earther, which the only reason I think you're not is because you grew up during the space race and saw us land on the moon, and that you did appreciate that and enjoy that and take a sense of value in that, but obviously didn't pay attention enough to actually learn anything about anything enough to be able to articulate it at all. But that's neither here nor there. I only bring that up because, again, you not being a flat earther. And additionally, the fact that you bring up the space shuttle, which, yes, is a post-Apollo thing, but the way you talk about the space shuttle, or lack thereof in describing its complexity, seems to indicate you don't really know jack about shit in this subject. But I think growing up during the space race caused you to be very certain that the world was round, and you accepted that fine. But nothing else.
But there is real money out there, okay? Silver and gold in the Bible is real money. Let's just go a few more minutes and quit here. I won't be able to cover the whole thing, but you're not going to turn me into an atheist, guys, in 12 minutes. I'll try to get the audio fixed for next time. Okay.
Good luck with that, dumbass.
Which was written well before the Bible. Hold it. Now, the fact that something is written down before the Bible was written down does not mean that one is true. Okay? If 5 people see an accident and they all report it to the police.
Yeah. No one's saying it does make it true, Kent. What's being said is that if the Bible's supposed to be, the Old Testament, the original manuscripts are supposed to be some of the first stuff ever written down, it's kind of weird that we have these documents that would predate that. Pretty weird. I mean, when was Genesis written? Can you tell me that? Because Gilgamesh predates it. How could it predate it? How? Please explain. Oh, wait, you won't, because you won't watch these videos because they're not family friendly enough for you to do a whack an atheist on, which is intentional because I don't feel like having to sit through you running your stupid script against anything I say. That's the beauty of it, why I don't care about the way I speak in these, because again, partly playing a character. Not that I'm not liberal with profanity in my day-to-day life, but certainly, in a right time for things, and these are certainly a right time. But not only am I playing a character, it's just a matter of, you know, I like to entertain people. And if that also just happens to be words you don't want to hear, then all the more. All the better for me. And for the audience. Whew, getting tired.
The first one who gives their report always right?
Kent has a way of just draining you completely. Not a good trait to have, Kent. Not good to bore people that much.
No. Might be the third one who got the story right. So that you're missing the point exactly. Sure,
You didn't catch the point at all, Kent. So the only person missing a point is you.
there were some stories written down by people in the cultures around the world. Maybe they got it into writing before the
Stream's still going. It just died. This is awesome. I just love it when one of Kent's streams
tonight.
goes
Let's take
to
some
shit.
questions and comments. But both you guys,
There it
contact
goes.
Michael and Lawrence and say, Ken Hovind has challenged
pop
both of you
back.
to a debate. And 3/4 of my brain tied behind my back for these two.
All right, Kent, if you're challenging people to a debate, then it is now your responsibility, in the same way you wanted your cronies to contact me for a debate 4 fucking months ago, it is now your responsibility to reach out to these people and plan such. That is how this works. That is the way it will work for Lawrence Krauss and Michael Shermer here, and that is the same way it will work for me, because you have made the initial call out. You're the one who seeks debate. It's your responsibility. And I will stand by that. If you think that's wrong somehow or not how stuff works, then you're just fucking full of it. That is totally how this works, Kent. So, until you or one of your cronies get in touch with me, you won't be getting any debate from Caruso Tomato. You won't be getting a debate from these guys because they got better things to do than talk to your ass, but you also would need to reach out to them to plan such.
Okay? Who have we got for questions there, guys? Questions or comments, and we'll do the rest of their little six more minutes of their show.
Okay, it's 2.5 minutes. I guess I could just let it play. I'd really rather just end this, but we can make it happen. We are, however, going to go to 1.25 speed to knock things up a hair.
There. Can a reprobate be saved? Anybody can be saved. God is not willing that any should be perished. You can be hanging on the cross next to Jesus.
Then the deity simply doesn't need to allow it to happen. It's done. Well, there got to be stipulations attached. Oh, right, it's a cult.
And the last minute before you die, ask him to save you. Yes. Now,
So there you go. That shows how scummy some aspects of Christianity are, is that this guy believes that you can just, ask at the last minute and there you go. It's insane. But I guess he's got his little butts in there, so we're going to see how he tries to balance this out.
God does take to some people, the Bible says that it gives up on them. God gave them up. Read Romans chapter 1. Some people, they get it so perverted, God says, I give up. Go.
So your infinitely all-powerful deity just gives up. That's amazing. So you admit they're pathetic and that eventually they reach a limit, which means that the person they're giving up on is therefore more powerful than the deity. Beautiful. Glad you admit that, Kent.
Go live your life. I'm done. Hope that doesn't happen to you. Maybe it happened to these two guys. I hope not. But yes, anybody can be saved. Lawrence Krauss has copyrighted interviews where he admits he believes in a universe from nothing and nowhere. Yep.
You idiots don't even know what copyright means. This is what kills me. Like, people on the internet do not understand what the hell copyright means. That statement makes no actual sense. Like, it's grammatically correct, but the point being implied is nonsensical. Oh man, people. I'm not expecting everyone to be a linguistic master. I talk like a fucking idiot. But understand what the hell it is you're trying to say, or at least acknowledge that you don't know exactly how to say what you're trying to say. I try to do that. I try to be humble like that. I fuck up saying stuff a lot. I also do know a lot. I can't be hard on myself all the time. There is a lot of stuff I know, and I think there is a value to my particularness about language, in that the way you talk about things demonstrates your actual understanding of those subjects. Thus, the way Kent talks about evolution shows that he has no comprehension of it at all. But this is just what the hell.
Copyright. Why would you copyright an interview like that? Tell the truth. I believe God made the world, and I believe God destroyed it with a flood.
Seriously, does no one know what copyright actually is? Am I the only one left who, besides Disney's lawyers, who understand that? Sometimes I feel like I am.
He's coming back to destroy the world again, this time with fire, what the Bible says. Okay?
Yeah, that's real loving right there.
Thank you for your factual Bible teaching. Well, thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. Spread it around. All I ask, tell others about it. There's one from a while back with Stephen Colbert. He destroys Krauss. Krauss attacks the Bible. Haven't seen that one.
You know Colbert is a parody character, right? I mean, it's pretty funny that right-wingers don't understand that Stephen Colbert is a parody. Not all of them, but some. Matt Powell official. Fuck you, Matt Powell. And Kent, you're not a fucking doctor. Both of y'all can eat a dick.
Keep it up, Dr. Hovind and team. Love it. Okay, thank you, Matt. Amen. Come down here, Matt. Okay.
That's it, brother.
That's it. All right, thank you so much, folks. Been a long day today. Andre, did you get everything fixed? Okay. Visiting from Russia and Ukraine and, yeah, good. Tractor fixed?
From Russia and you really? Okay. Don't think those two should be near each other. You know, one might do a special military operation on the other. Just saying.
Praise God. Okay. Did you get the pins back in and locked in place? Oh, man. Come back, stay longer. I got more projects for you. If you're a good cook, we need a cook. I brought Grantham and his wife in here months ago, so he's a great artist, and I got a lot of work to do, and I need her in the office. But they're also good cooks from Louisiana, and they've been cooking, doing a wonderful job. But I need a cook, full-time cook. You've got some good cooking experiences. I can do that. We'll move down here and we'll put you to work. Feeding, what do we have, about 25, 30 people we feed every meal? Plus visitors come all the time. So looking for...
Yeah, that's what someone wants to do. Move to bumfuck nowhere, Alabama, and cook for 30 plus people every fucking day. Kent, the documentary, The Weakness of Kent Hovind, nice woman in there explained how you treat people who work for you in jobs like that. Not interested.
A cook and a mechanic. We need a mechanic who can come spend maybe a week, and we got some project for you. We got 2 Dodge Caravans, a 2016 and a 2014. The 2016 has a transmission bad. I want somebody who can say, I can pull both of the transmission and motors out, put the motor and transmission from the 14 in the 16, and we can drive it. The 2014, we don't have a title for. It was a handicapped lady. It's one of those brown disability vans. We would then save until we get time to fix the other transmission and get that. Okay?
Okay, you don't have the title for... Whatever, Kent. Whatever.
If you can swap transmissions on those 2 Dodge Caravans, come on down.
I can swap the transmissions right the fuck out of there and sell them for scrap value. By the way, whatever copper or whatever you're using for wiring at DAL, I could probably use that too. But that's for personal projects.
We need it done, like, soon. Okay, any more?
That's it.
All right. One of the most loved men on the internet. That ain't me. Oh, I can't. If you want to help us with the van, please call soon. 855 Big Dino extension 3. That's me. How do they get schedule a program?
At least Kent is aware that people fucking hate him. And I don't hate him explicitly. I just hate him intrinsically, if that makes any kind of sense. Like, he's just a shitty person, ergo I strongly dislike him. But he hasn't done anything to me yet. So I don't hate him as an active role. I don't know. It's hard to describe. The 7 Layers of Hate by Caruso Tomato. It's complicated. I'll eventually, whenever I write my book, I'll explain it. The way I feel about people. I'll use some people as examples of how I feel about them. Like, the level of hate I feel for someone who's betrayed me in my personal life is far different than the level of hate I feel for, let's say, Kent Hovind, which is still different from the level of hate I feel for some historical figure like a certain failed Austrian painter. It's a different kind of hate.
Eric, what number are you? 4. 855 Big Dino extension 4 if you want to schedule a debate. Call them up if you want to get some of our videos in time for Christmas. Get the
So, no, I want to email, so I'm not going to call anyone at 855 extension 4, I'm just not going to do that.
Woe series, what's about to happen in the earth, what on earth is about to happen. You can get all this stuff, extension 1, 855 Big Dino, extension 1. That'll be Sandra, my wife, or go to
Dial 855 Big Dino extension 666 and get Chris. Me. I really should do that. I should beg to have extension 666. They'll never do it, but that'd be so funny if they actually gave it to me. I'd never use it, but the idea would be cool. Or if I was able to get into their phone system, but I don't do hacking like that. I prefer to create projects, not tear down other projects of such a scale. The discussion back and forth, or the commentary is different from, this is a reaction commentary, me sharing my opinions. It's completely different from me cracking into their fucking phone system, alright? So, yeah. But, if my morals were a little bit looser, I'd try. Don't know where to begin. I got friends who could help, but that's neither here nor there.
our website, drdino.com. If you want a time for Christmas, you better hurry, tonight. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye.
Go to hell, Kent. Alright, that's the end of that. It was a video. This is a bit of a train wreck. Hope I entertained you. I'm tired. I'm gonna play Guild Wars. And then go to sleep. Because fuck it. Tomorrow is winter solstice, so beginning of winter. Shortest day of the year. So enjoy the lack of sunlight. Everyone be sure to take some vitamin D, because we're going to be deficient as a motherfucker for the next couple of months. And yeah. Like the video, subscribe. Feel inclined, join the membership so you can see videos early, because I'm going to start doing that now. And yeah. Otherwise, everyone, take it easy.